Welcome to the Mile High webinar for upcoming MH3, August 21st to 23rd, 2015. I am with Mile High MC, Jerod Dawson, who has been with Mile High since its inception. And welcome, Jerod. I'm glad to be here with you today.
Thank you, Danny. It's an honor to be with you, and it's been an honor the last few years to see the growth of Mile High, right?
It really has. And actually, with you saying that, that's what I want to start out with. Let's get right to the meat of this. You were there with me that night at Northern Colorado EPOC, so we can have an EPOC shout out. All right, you were there that night when when we were sitting there about some of a level of frustration, and actually we had never met before then, and we just talked about, hey, what we would like to see happen. And just tell me your feelings from that moment of, hey, this would be great to see happen, what you thought then to where we've come.
Wow, the amazing piece was, I think we had never known each other until that point, and we were so congruent in what we believed. From that stepping stone to the platform that exists today, it's been amazing. I mean, you think about the attendance has gone up, the philosophy has blossomed across Colorado, surrounding areas, to really get back in tune with what chiropractic is. And I mean, what type of community are we developing that's going to really resonate throughout is going to be incredible. And it's changed a lot, I think. And you see that talked about in our profession more now than it was even a year, 2, 3 ago, that we've got to bring back the foundational principles of ChiropracTIC. And I think that's what ignited Mile High and what we were talking about that night when our frustrations really were at their highest point, I guess we could say. How about that?
Yeah, we can say that. So to go from the highest point of frustration to bring event to a new altitude and help chiropractors rise up is a whole different ball of wax. And, you know, I want to say this, in working with you on this, you've been MC the last 2 years, which has been amazing. You've been a speaker, and I've seen you grow. I've seen the other local doctors grow, and I'm really grateful to be part of that because you see a community developing. And that's one of the things that I want to see Mile High be, is that chiropractors can be a community. Chiropractors can have a vision, a commonality, and work together, okay? And that the chiropractors on the subluxation side of the fence can work together to produce something and have a force for good and a force for positive impact for the profession. And also that you can create programs that are solely chiropractic and they can thrive. You know, I got another postcard in the mail today for, you know, a $99 record-keeping program from an IME thing, you know, and that may be needed and people may have some value in that, but you know what? I want to go to something that fills me up in terms of chiropractic. And you said something else, which is about the future of chiropractic, and we've started the program the last couple of years about chiropractic's past, chiropractic's present, and chiropractic's future. And when I think of future, I think of the students, right? And I know you've been interviewing some people. Tell me about your experience in that and why you think Mile High is important for students.
You know, the amazing piece of me, I've been trying to hire associates and doctors in my office, and they're so confused about who they are and what they do. It's been you ask questions, and I remember one distinctive interview. I asked him, I said, well, what do you believe chiropractic is? And his true answer was, I believe chiropractic is soft tissue manipulation, and it's the most important aspect of chiropractic. And I was like, I was so blown away, and I know my face changed, and I was very disappointed. But a majority of these students coming out don't even know what chiropractic is. They don't believe it's the adjustment or the nervous system. It's soft tissue. It's integrated medicine. And so if we don't do something like Mile High, where is chiropractic going to be? We've got this whole generation of chiropractors or lack of chiropractors that don't even understand chiropractic. And they think chiropractic is about, maybe it's nutritional supplements. And not that's a bad thing, but what got the patient better? I mean, was it your adjustment that helped them, or was it all this other stuff? I mean, what differentiates us as being something special? I believe it really is the adjustment, my opinion. But if you don't know what that is coming out of school, how are you ever going to be successful? You're just like anybody else, right? And Mile High there is a motivational factor. You know, we've got to motivate these students and be surrounded by, some of us have been really blessed through chiropractic. And you know, a Napoleon Hill always quote comes to mind. It says, "Motivation's like a fire. No matter what, it'll always go out without any fuel." And that's what I believe Mile High is for these students to start their fire, and for you and me to continue our fire and passion through chiropractic.
You know, dude, I get fired up by the students personally. You know,
Yes.
and I know other doctors too, because when you see fired up students, you get excited. And you also see students like flip a switch like,
Yeah.
I didn't learn this in school. You
No,
know,
no.
what was I missing?
Yeah, this is chiropractic. I didn't even know. I was like, well, what do you think chiropractic is? Like, it's moving a bone. I get it. We're adjusting its nervous system, and that's missing. You know, they come out of school, and I mean, if we could ignite that inside of them, what level will that take chiropractic in the next 10, 15, and 20 years?
Well, and you know, it's not that any of that other stuff might have some health value, but
Not at all.
what makes you unique?
Exactly.
If you don't have what makes you unique, then chiropractic will be absorbed into some other health profession
Exactly.
and lose its identity and be, as Scott Garber says, a lost profession.
100%. You know, what people want so much to be acknowledged. They want to stand out and be different. But if our profession becomes something of just an adversary thing to medicine or to something else, we have no differential capabilities. We don't stand out as this beaming light of hope for people. It's like, oh yeah, now my chiropractor does all this other stuff that everybody else does. Why go see him? Or why go see her? Why go see that type of person? You know, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So then the third thing that I want to cover, so we want to see students there. I want to see a chock full of students. And I know that students are going to be, you know, we're going to have student scholarships. We're going to have different student programs. There'll be things going on. Highlight last year was the student Q&A session, which
That was great.
we threw out at the last minute, and we didn't know, but that was like the best thing of the whole weekend. People loved it. Not everybody stayed up for it, but I heard it went to like 2 in the morning or something. People just kept going. I know, and we're gonna focus on that and put the Q&A sessions are going to be off the charts this year in terms of who we're putting on the panel for that, which we're not announcing yet. So people have to stay tuned about that. Now the other thing is we've seen a shift in Colorado. Now when I first came to Colorado, it was going in a negative direction in terms of my view, and then there was a unity position, okay, and then things are swaying too much in a different direction. What have you seen in Colorado happen? You've been at political meetings, you've been at state board meetings, and how this could impact that this is not in a seminar. We don't want to have an event, but a movement for people to make difference in chiropractic as a profession. How can you see that? What did you see in that in the political realm in Colorado, and how that can impact elsewhere?
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's been a shift that has been from one side to the other. You know, there wasn't a massive group or there wasn't a massive community in Colorado that had congruent values and congruent philosophies. And what we've seen is we've seen a tremendous amount of doctors come together to take a stance of saying this is what we want chiropractic to look like in our state. And unfortunately, we were on that big, huge process of trying to get specific things added to our profession that none of us wanted. And we've created this bond. And I think that's been an amazing piece to this whole Mile High movement is that there's a bond in our state that has shifted politically where Colorado stands. And people know that. It's like there's doctors that are together saying, this is what chiropractic is, and this is where we're going to hold on to and guard. Just like they say, guard it well. Well, that same movement can happen in every place around us if states start to bind together and they use this Mile High kind of initiative and this Mile High goal to shift their political revenues and their political mindsets in their states. And realize, you know, what you support will definitely happen, but you have to have enough people behind you, and it has to be a joint effort. And that wasn't there a couple years ago. I know your frustration was off the charts, and luckily we've seen just an amazing impact between what your wife has been doing and what Mile High has done, not just in our state, but it's going back to other states too, about people who come. They're like, man, we want a group like this in our state. We want to be elbow to elbow with people who can help us grow and resonate at a higher level through chiropractic, but also stand for what chiropractic is. And that's its purest form, this amazing piece. And that political shift has happened really over the last 2 years, which has been it's been a huge brick off your and my shoulders, let's just say that.
Well, so you know, Greenpeace might have said it first, think globally and act locally, but that's what Mile High's doing. We're thinking globally and acting locally, and here we are, we're in Colorado, so what's near us, vibrationally, I think there's some very big things in terms of the vibrational field, and we're near the NBCE, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're near the FCLB, and I want to see Mile High have a vibrational impact, center of the country, out through the whole profession as a movement. August 21st to 23rd, I know you're going to be there.
I am. I'm there. I'm speaking. I can talk. I get the stage this time. I'm good.
Yep. I'm going to be there, and
Yes.
there's a rock star lineup that's going to be there. So
Good.
up to 15 hours of continuing education, strategies, marketing, philosophy that you can take home with your team. You want to be there with your team to your office on Monday, and that you can have a bigger impact in your community. So we'll see you there.
Sounds great.